In a world full of noise and tension, silence may seem like the choice of the weak, but in truth, it is the weapon of the wise. We live in an era where everyone races to react, to justify, to prove themselves through arguments and opinions. But what if I told you that true power lies in your ability to ignore all of that? To be in the heart of the storm and remain still, to be attacked and choose not to strike back, to be mistreated and not seek revenge. That's not weakness. It's strength at its highest form. Silent strength. The kind that doesn't need noise to announce itself. Being indifferent doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've become selective. Selective with your energy, your time, and your attention. Every moment you spend defending yourself to someone who's already made up their mind is a moment stolen from your peace. The art of conscious indifference isn't about careless detachment. It's about deep awareness. The awareness to know what matters and what doesn't. To see things as they are, not as your ego wants them to be. To understand that some battles don't deserve swords. They deserve to be walked away from. Real strength doesn't show in what you say. It shows in what you choose not to say. It shows when you restrain your impulses and make your responses serve your values, not your emotions. The greatest victory in life isn't over someone else. It's over yourself. Over your urge to always explain, to always react, to always prove. The day you realize that you don't owe anyone an explanation is the day you taste real freedom. You start keeping your power to yourself and only give it away when you decide it's worth it. Society thrives on reactions. It wants to see you angry, upset, shaken, because your reactions make you predictable, controllable. But when you can smile in the face of mockery, when you can stay calm in the heat of conflict, when you walk forward while they wait for you to fall, that's when you break the cycle. Not because you don't feel pain, but because you refuse to make your pain public property. You protect your energy like treasure, and only spend it on what builds you, not on what drains you. There comes a moment in every mature person's life, a moment of awakening, when you realize that arguing doesn't end arguments, shouting doesn't prove truth, and explaining yourself won't change the mind of someone who never wanted to understand you. In that moment, you choose peace over proving. You choose walking away over forcing connection. You choose silence over confrontation, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because by then, you understand that real value doesn't need validation. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every comment requires a comeback. Sometimes the highest form of self-respect is to walk away without a word, because stepping into the mud to wrestle only makes you muddy too. Some battles, even if you win them, leave you losing a part of yourself. So don't fight unless peace is no longer an option. And don't speak unless your words carry purpose, meaning, or impact. Otherwise, let silence do the talking. It often says more than words ever could. True strength isn't measured by how loud you can shout or how hard you can hit. It's measured by how well you can stay grounded when everything around you is trying to pull you apart. When you feel anger but don't explode. When you're provoked but don't retaliate. When you're broken but you still stand tall. That is power. To walk through life's fire without letting it burn your spirit. To stay noble in a world that celebrates cruelty. To stay pure in a world that profits off chaos. Life will test you. With people who try to belittle you, with circumstances that trigger your worst instincts, with moments that try to pull you into chaos. But remember this, every time you remain calm, you build strength. Every time you rise above, you gain wisdom. Every time you choose silence out of awareness, you master yourself. And those small, quiet victories, they compound. Over time, they build something unshakable. True power doesn't erupt. It accumulates, quietly, deliberately. He who cannot control himself will always be controlled by something else. by emotions, by people, by the noise of the world. But the one who learns self-control learns how to shape destiny. Not because they have all the answers, but because they've learned to ask better questions. Not because they don't feel pain, but because they don't let pain dictate their truth. Real power is sovereignty over your moods, your reactions, your choices. It's the ability to feel and still choose peace. And finally, learn to be your own reflection, not a projection of others' opinions. When you truly love yourself, you stop letting people use your emotions as a playground. When you know your worth, you stop needing to explain it. And when you understand your value, you no longer chase applause or fear criticism. You walk in calm confidence, quiet, deep, unshakable. In today's world, that kind of stillness is the loudest kind of strength.